Sit in the dais here with seasoned diplomat Ramesh Chandra, yes, who also had a long association with Russia, and it's a pleasure, sir. It's a pleasure, sir. And certainly, thank you very much for conference. As to the, it will be called the Asia Centuries, as I understand. Yes, this is certainly one subject that is one topic that is being at the moment one of the much talked about, as Asia Rise is certainly a phenomenon. It is a phenomenon, and but this is also a natural thing. It's a natural thing, as which is recognized now. Over the last few decades, the global gravity has shifted quite distinctly and decisively towards east and south, and this is something that cannot be denied, and this is remarkable in many ways, as this tendency persists as the growth potential of the non-Western world, and specifically its vanguard, BRICS Plus, is immense. It is immense, and from the point of the available resources, it is immense. Its interconnection capacity may be a bad omen, as it is taken in the West, for at least for them, for the West, for those who had the delusions of the end of history, and who continues to divide the world, as former chief of European Foreign Service Borrell once inability, unfortunately, to accept to seek for a common steady ground on the basis of justice and compromise, peaceful coexistence, in which we are now.
Interrupting for a minute.
Yes, yes. He had to go. He has a delegation in New Delhi. I'm a general consul stationed in Chennai.
Alliance University is an aim of a university to make itself a hub for art and culture, and more so to attract and make Bangalore as a destination for art and culture. As you know, Bangalore is a confluence of many cultures, all different populations, not just from south of India, from across the nation, and also internationally. Alliance Literary Festival began in 2022. That was the first time that this literary festival by the university was launched, and so to say, in these years,
presenting a new attractive ethos of interstate communication. In this line comes the SCO and consolidation of the Eurasian space, strengthening of ASEAN, Gulf and other groupings, etc. In the same context, I'm not
who's Dean at the Alliance University. We have the Pro-Chancellor who introduced me, Dr. Abhay Cheppi, and Dr. Julian, who's effectively this brainchild and baby the Alliance Literary Festival is. He is director of the Eurasian Studies at the Alliance University. It's not my first association with the Alliance University. I've had the privilege of interacting with management students at the university, which has much more than 10,000 students and is among the leading schools, law schools in India, as it were, and rated as such, with which I recall very fondly. My career began in the former Soviet Union. I was doing ambassador without help of our Russian friends. Your Kudankulam project would never have moved forward without the commitment at the highest levels in the government in Russia, even as of today.
Of last year's meeting in Kazan, the point of the BRICS still remains a great question to be answered, right? So what are we as countries? We're not in the same place. We are dispersed around the world. But what is the positive goal of BRICS is a great question, and what is the positive goal of the Asian century is also a great question. Is it just an economic alliance? Is it a geostrategic alliance? Or is there a positive worldview that the BRICS and Asia as such brings to the table? And these are all great questions that we want to ponder. Is it going to be an alternative to the rules-based world order? Is it going to be based on international law? But international law is a kind of Westphalian consensus of countries that were grouped together geographically, but we are not grouped together geographically. So in a sense, BRICS is possible because of the modern world, because of the internet, and because of modern technology and our ability.
Have this capacity of forward thinking, because power dynamics are fast evolving, and power centers are moving, shifting from the Atlantic to the Asia Pacific very fast. And as I was explaining, Russia and India have a special and privileged relationship for a very long time, even before the collapse of the USSR. It was the case already. But we do believe that the potential of cooperation between Russia and India is still underexploited, and especially in the field of education, culture, science.
Actually, it is a traditional pillar of our ties, and this is something that never interrupted. And even here with south of India, we have a lot of events here. We organize festivals, organize conferences, seminars. All the this is, and but now we have one more feature in this, as we have new avenues of this collaboration. Just 15 years back, we had only bilaterals. Now we have also the avenue of cultural.
We find is an entire sea change in the sort of in the architecture of Russian traditional churches coming about in the 15th century. And similarly, we have
some of the finest Kuchipudi and Bharatanatyam dancers are from Russia. There has been a lot of interest in Indian films of late, but I would like to believe that India and Russia should invest 10x more money into furthering cultural cooperation than what are the current levels.
It looks like nothing is changing at the moment. But if you look at in a span of 20 years, even 20 years, not more, you will see the great change. And
we also partnered with the APLF, the APWT, writers and translators from the Asia Pacific, and had our own version of it. I think literary festival, something like this, and there are many. Bangalore has a literary festival, Bangalore Lit Fest, Jaipur has, and the Alliance.
Whatever, Sar pe laal topi rosi, fir bhi dil hai Hindustan. And a cultural order, I think these issues will be of great significance.
And Alliance Literary Festival that began, or rather the genesis of which took place in 2022, has had many versions of it. This time, Alliance Literary Festival 2025 has a much broader and a bigger scope. We call it the Asian Century, where we've invited authors bringing about their books. There would be a couple of book signings. To talk more on that, I've been joined by my colleagues. I'd like to hand this over to Dr. Anirudh Sridhar to give you an overview of.
And as Mr. Abhay Chepi already said, the theme of the festival is the Asian century. So what we want to discuss is basically the setting of the Western sun and the rising of the Eastern sun, and basically how this is going to be interpreted and impact us in the century to come. The Asian century has just begun. As far as I can tell, no university or festival has taken on this bull by the horns and said, this is a huge topic, but how is it going to play out, right? So we're not pretending to give you answers, but we are going to be the hub and the sort of epicenter in India as well as in Asia, where these issues are going to be discussed. The century is going to play out, and for this we have writers not merely parochially from Asia, but also from Europe, from Africa, from the United States, everybody coming together as one sort of international family to discuss what the Asian century will mean. And as many of our panelists have already said, this is not to sort of put our chests out and bluff about a sort of new colonial order, but rather to see how sort of the economic and such as Anil Kumble will come to talk about, Anju Bobby George talk about how sports, Asia is rising in sports. We have journalists such as Rajdeep Sardesai, we have political thinkers, we have filmmakers, we have animation artists, we have Sanjay Patel, who's an Indian American director and chief animator of Pixar. So we have a wide array of
already more than 15 years at various postings in New Delhi, with some interruptions, pauses, but anyway, this is, you see, my romancing with India, it lasts for a long time.